Hello, 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 family. How is everybody doing out there with the times going on in the world right now? I know a lot of us are just in different places, whether that be mentally, physically. But, I've been doing a lot of thinking and contemplating lately, and as a believer, it's definitely, a responsibility to speak to my other believers because when the George Floyd incident happened on Memorial Day, and I witnessed that, it was hard. It was hard. It was hard for me not to be emotional, which is okay to be emotional. It was hard for me not to be in my feelings, and it was hard not to harbor anger and hate for anyone in my heart. That's not a natural feeling for me. And something that I definitely learned was that, me being angry wasn't going to solve anything. And so I had to let it go. I mean, it came, I felt it, I allowed myself to feel it, and I had to let it pass. But I do believe that as a Christian, I'm not the only person that's going through this, and I understand that this is a very trying time for all believers. So I do have a message, a word from the Lord that I want to share with my fellow believers because we need each other to get through these times more than ever, okay? And I love y'all, so that's what I'm here for. So if you came across this, and you came across it for a certain reason, okay? So I did want to read to y'all, and I'm reading from the NIV translation. I'm in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 2, and I'll be reading verses 14 to 19, all right? And so the title of this is dealing with false teachers, and I think now is a really good time to talk about this because there are a lot of different stories and conspiracies that are being thrown around, and it's going to be very important for us to get with God, get with him, seek him, ask him for direction. Now is not the time to try to make up our own understanding about what's going on in the world. We know that he'll reveal that to us, so this is the time where we have to lean on his understanding and walk by faith and not by sight. So again, I'm reading from the second book of Timothy, chapter 2, verses 14 to 19. Keep reminding God's people of these things. Warn them before God against quarreling about words. It is of no value and only ruins those who listen. Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly handles the word of truth. Avoid godless chatter because those who indulge in it will become more and more ungodly. Their teaching will spread like gangrene. Among them are Hymenaeus and Philetus, who have departed from the truth. They say that the resurrection has already taken place, and they destroyed the faith of some. Nevertheless, God's solid foundation stands firm, sealed with this inscription: The Lord knows those who are his, and everyone who confesses the name of the Lord must turn away from wickedness. So guys, please, 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 I'm begging you, this is the time for us to go to God and not go back and forth with people. I mean, it says to not quarrel about words, and a lot of things that I'm seeing people talk about and going back and forth. It's okay to have, discussions and understandings, but a lot of it is people aren't entering these conversations with an open mind and an open heart, which defeats the purpose of having a conversation because there is no solution behind that. It's literally just two people going back and forth on two different opinions. And we, out of all people as Christians, we have to accept people for who they are. This is really a time where God is checking our hearts, and we got to take a look at it because it's not just about other people, it's about us. It's enough to be seeing all these things being splurged all over the internet and all the brutality and all of the opinions. But it's another thing to take on those things into your mind, into your heart, and allow them to make you feel another way. I mean, you should be saying we should be solid. in our word. And now is going to be the time for us to get back into our word and get into solidarity with the Lord, because that is what keeps us. Okay, we cannot worry about a pandemic. We can't worry about these trivial things that people are getting tied up in. It's not showing, we're not showing up as a good representation of God when we do that. So just be mindful. And then one last thing that I did want to read to you guys was the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verses 43 to 48. All right, so just listen up. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? And if you greet only your own people, what are you doing more than others? Do not even pagans do that? Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. Go to God. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. I know the feelings that come with wanting to explain yourself and your opinions, but if it's not getting anywhere, go to God. Go to God. Okay? I love y'all. I'm praying for everybody. I'm praying for this world. I'm praying for God to touch hearts and open eyes and heal this land. And I know that He's going to do it. The world is showing us that that is being done, but it's going to be up to us as believers. We have to operate under God's dominion. We really have to stay focused. Now is the time to stay focused. So get focused, stay focused, and I love you and I'm praying for you.